Hey everybody, it's Bob Sank, and you will not believe today's webinar. You're going to absolutely love it, okay? But to get the best out of any webinar, we all know, you got to shut down everything else. So we are going to be talking about Facebook. So for all of you that are on here today, shut down Facebook. And if you wouldn't mind, before we get really started, I want to make sure everybody can hear me fine. And why don't you just say that you can hear me fine and where you're from? I'd really appreciate that. Let's see, we got a wide range of people from all over, I'm sure, North America. So if you wouldn't mind just letting me know whether you can hear me fine and then where you're from, I'd greatly appreciate that. Okay? So there we go. We got Rob from Dayton. Hey, Rob. Thank you very much. We got Wendy. Hey, Wendy. How are you doing, my friend, from Ontario, Canada? And Joanne from the UK. Wow, fantastic. My good buddy Mike up in Boston. Great to see you on here, Mike. And Miles, another one of my friends from LA. And Mary. Hey, Mary, just talked to you today from Syracuse, New York. And Chris from California. And Elisa, let's see, Matt, upstate New York. Mary from Buffalo. Lance from Los Angeles. Okay, great. So we got people from all over. And I am so happy that you jumped on this webinar because, we all kind of get overwhelmed with what to do and so forth and how to promote ourselves and everything via social media. And you came to the right place today because this webinar is going to blow your mind. So what I want you to do is shut down Facebook, get off of Twitter, okay? Come on, Mike, get out of there, get off Facebook. I can see that you're on there. Okay, get off of Instagram, close your office door, and concentrate on the next hour on this program, okay? Take some notes because you're going to absolutely love it. I've been through this program before, and it's amazing. I always get good information, and I'm going to be taking notes as well. So I'll be checking up on each one of you, all right, as we go forward. So shut it all down. Get ready to get your mind blown and get some great ideas on how to improve your social media. So today, it's my privilege to have Grace on the call today. And Grace is from City Blast. And I asked her, I said, Grace, how long have you been there? And she said, almost since day one. It was probably day 2 or day 3. So absolutely amazing that, one, you jump into something and you've been there that long, Grace. So congratulations. And you obviously know everything there is to know about City Blast, so I can't wait to hear your story and what all you have to offer, okay? So everybody give a warm welcome to our guest today, Grace Carroll. Hi, Grace.
Hi, thanks, Bob. I hope everyone can hear me okay, and thank you so much for joining us, taking some time out of your afternoon. I'm sure you're all very busy, but I promise you won't regret this. As Bob mentioned, this is a really great program that we have prepared for you today. The topic is inbound marketing, how to market your business on Facebook without annoying your friends and family. And, especially for real estate agents, but really any business, this is something that is a very hot topic that we all want to know how to do. Facebook is an incredible tool that we all have access to, and I'm going to show you how you can use it to make more money for your real estate business this year. As Bob mentioned, my name is Grace Carroll, and I work for City Blast. I'm one of the top experts here. I've been with the company since almost day one, so I know what I'm talking about, and I'm very, very passionate about this subject as well. So throughout the webinar, please send in your questions. We are definitely going to have Q&A at the end, but more than happy to address any questions that come up during the webinar, and Bob will help me let me know what you're asking, and we will certainly address them.
Yeah, hey, Grace, what I'd suggest is, if I can interrupt there, go ahead and type in your questions, and I promise, we'll address them at the end. That tends to be a little easier because you can, get through the webinar and everything else. But I promise everybody, we'll get to your questions. Just type them on in, and we will get to them.
Yes, we want to know what you're asking, and we will definitely address them. If you haven't heard of City Blast before, we do specialize in social media marketing for real estate agents. We are the largest social media management company in the world for real estate, so we really know what we're talking about. This is all we do all day long for the past 3.5 years, and so we're just going to share our tips and tricks. They're all based on the Sean Nilsson system. Sean Nilsson is the co-founder of the company. He used the tips that I'm going to share with you today to make $165,000 in commission and do 24 deals in his first year as an agent just by using Facebook marketing. He literally had not even $1 for his marketing budget, and so he turned to his Facebook and was very, very successful. So we're sharing his tips and how City Blast can help you achieve all of those things and his success as well. So let's get started. Inbound marketing for real estate agents. Once again, that's the topic for today. And today I'm going to be talking a lot about Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But you know what? It goes beyond all of these social tools as well. If you're using Instagram or Snapchat or Pinterest, all of the things I'm going to talk about today can apply. We specifically focus on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and in this webinar I'm going to mention Facebook a lot, but when I mention Facebook, please keep in mind that I'm talking about all social media tools. At the end we can address any of them specifically, but Facebook is what I'm going to hone in on just because that's what I'm sure everyone has, and I mean everyone has a Facebook account pretty much. I'd be surprised if you're listening in and don't have one. If you don't have one, we'll talk later.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to start by sharing some stats, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen this stat around before. It's shared from NAR, I believe, and this one actually I think is a couple of years old. Over 90% of home searches begin online. I think this percentage is actually up to 94. And it's an incredible stat to think about. You know, you have to realize that in 2015, people are no longer walking down the street and going to a real estate office to ask questions. They're not picking up the phone and calling you, you know, when they decide to buy or sell or have some questions. They're doing the research on their own without you. That is just a fact of how people search for information these days. They go online, they Google, they're searching MLS, they're checking out what's, you know, how much their property is worth, what's going on with hot neighborhoods, they're researching properties for sale. They're doing all of this before ever contacting or even deciding on an agent to use. The next important stat to think about is that people spend 3 times more time on Facebook versus any other website in the world. That is a pretty crazy statistic, but if you've ever thought about what you do when you're on your computer, you can probably relate a little bit that you spend probably a little too much time on Facebook. So often the problem when you're trying to figure out, okay, all of the 90% of people are online, how do I find them? There's a really good chance you're going to find them on Facebook if people spend 3 times more time on Facebook. So jot those numbers down, put them together. It makes a lot of sense. In the old days of marketing, you had a choice. As real estate agents, your 2 options mainly were one-to-one marketing, you know, door knocking, which obviously can be really effective, building those relationships. That's what you do as agents, and working with people one-on-one. The downside, of course, as everyone here knows, is that door knocking and going door to door and meeting people takes a long time, and when you're a busy agent, it's can be hard to maintain that. Of course, the next option that's much easier is to go one-to-many. So if you're doing some marketing through emails or you're sending out flyers and you're reaching a lot of people very, very quickly, I mean, that can be effective to get your name and your picture out, but the reality is that it's not going to be very effective for people to get in touch with you because they're going to pick up that flyer that they get in their mailbox, and I mean, a lot of the time they're probably going to throw it out. I mean, no offense, I know that I do when I get them all the time in my mailbox. But if they do happen to have a question for you, the problem is that you're not right there to answer the question. So they might put it down, they might put it on the fridge. If they ever get in touch with you, who knows what's going to happen. And this is really how social media has rocked the marketing world, because now you can get the message out from one to many, as well as have that personal connection and have the one-on-one connection with them as well, because you can update your Facebook with a message, real estate related, what you're trying to say, and you're going to reach your, for example, 250 or 500 friends on average. And the difference is that a lot of people are going to see it, and the people who actually are interested in what you're trying to say or have questions about it can directly comment and like, and they're each going to have different questions. You can start a conversation. You can start a conversation with many. You can answer people one-on-one. You can also take any leads you get from those comments, or if a conversation is obviously going past the point of comments, you can take it and turn it into a personal message. You can pick up the phone or you can email them. So it's a great way for people to just say, hey, that's an amazing article about this really hot neighborhood. I actually have been looking into that neighborhood. Do you know if there are any listings right now? Then all of a sudden you know that Bob's looking into that neighborhood, and you're going to check out what listings are available and continue that conversation with him. So experts recommend spending 1 hour per day Facebook marketing. And in my 3 years with City Boss, I've been to a lot of social media conferences and heard a lot of gurus talk, and most of them agree that 1 hour a day for Facebook marketing is the absolute minimum. One woman I listened to said that actually she spends 4 hours a day, because by the time she updates all of her social media outlets, by the time she figures what to post, by the time she engages with other people and gets back to people, I mean, it takes a lot of time. And of course, the key with social media is that you need to be very, very consistent. You need to be spending at least 1 hour a day on your Facebook marketing. I'm sure everyone that's listening today can agree that busy agents don't have an hour a day. Maybe there's 1 week when you consistently have 1 hour a day, but then what happens the next week when you are busy with a client? It's something that you really, really need to stick to, and it can be impossible when you're doing everything yourself and you're running around, and to figure out, it's easy to forget, of course, but so this is a problem with the real estate industry and for real estate agents with social media marketing. One quote I'm going to share, this is actually from Wikipedia, and it's on inbound marketing, the golden key. The quote is, earning the attention of prospects and drawing customers to your website by producing content customers value. So this is a great quote to keep in your back pocket for if you're doing any blogging, if you're updating your website, for what you're posting on social media. And this is the difference between inbound marketing and outbound marketing. With inbound marketing, you are to post information that is actually of interest to others, content that customers value, rather than the outbound marketing. And I'm sure you guys have seen this on Facebook posts all over. A lot of agents post stuff that's like, hey, I'm #1 in the neighborhood, give me a call. Here's my number, make sure you call me if you're buying or selling. It gets annoying after a little while, and it's hard to want to pay attention to their posts. Most of the time, I would say people are going to be tuning you out or turning off notifications from you because they don't want to see a sales ad on their Facebook feed every day.
Hey, Grace, I'm so psyched that you brought that up, because that's one of the things that drives me crazy. I hate those posts. And you know, when I've talked to clients and so forth, they say the same thing. It's so cheesy, and you know, the agents aren't bringing anything of value. It just drives me crazy. So I'm glad you brought that up. I hope everybody's listening. Write that down. If you're wondering whether you should post those kind of posts, don't do it.
It's really funny, too, because a lot of our clients who are obviously real estate agents say, oh, I see all these other agents posting them, and it just drives me crazy. And it's like, if it drives you crazy, 100% it is driving people who aren't agents crazy, who they're trying to attract. Sean has a funny thing where he calls some of the other agents who do this, they are ninjas, because they try and mask what they're doing and do it in a different way, but they're really doing the same thing. And that's when they say, oh, congratulations to Jenny and John on the sale of their new home for over asking. It's the second home I've sold over asking this week. And really what you're doing is the same thing, and it just is, it's really annoying. I actually find them pretty inappropriate, and I would feel uncomfortable if I were the people who that agent had, if he had helped me or she had helped me and they were posting something like that about my personal sale of a house. I think it's not the greatest post. And that's what's difficult, is because sometimes you're just like, well, how do I apply marketing to Facebook? And it seems often most obvious that that's what you would do. But you do need to take a step back and think about what you can provide to the people in your network that is something of value to them. This is a fantastic example that we use. It's a great rule to follow. If you're going to note down anything from this webinar, I would 100% write down social media equals social event. Whenever you are not sure of what you're posting and if it's right or wrong, think back to this because it's really, really, really going to help you. So social media equals a social event. Act as you would at a party where you want everyone to like you. So you can imagine what we were just talking about. If you were the agent who is going to the party and just walking around, hardly shaking anyone's hand, instead just shoving a business card in their hand saying, hey, #1 in the area, yep, give me a call, nice to meet you, see you later, and keeps walking around and doing that, I mean, you would never do that in person. I really hope you would not do that if you're trying to socialize, because I don't think you would be very popular at that party. When you think of it that way, it almost just seems so ridiculous that it just reminds me of something you would see on Saturday Night Live as a skit, because I can just imagine it in my head. It would be, yeah, so inappropriate and very, very funny, but definitely not what you want to do in real life. And so in real life, what you try and do with people is you strike up a conversation that's interesting. So perhaps you go up to a group of people or a new person and you're saying to them, hey, I found out something really interesting about our city today. Did you know that this area is actually the #1 area in the city right now for appreciating home values? It's really crazy. And they're like, oh my gosh, where did you read that? The New York Times. It was such a great article. I can't believe they featured our little town, but it's really exciting and it's so great for the market, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. So what do you do? And you're like, I'm actually a real estate agent, which is why I was reading the New York Times real estate section, but I just thought it was really exciting, blah, blah, blah. And then in their minds, you had an interesting conversation that let them know that they're in a hot real estate market and that you actually know what you're talking about and wanted to share information that was exciting to you and also exciting to them. So it is a really great rule to follow, and I hope that is something that will help you approach your social media in a different way. Here are actually some top best performing posts. These are from stats that we've collected through City Blast, and we're able to track the amount of clicks that the articles we share get. And so this, I think, is really interesting because sometimes, you're racking your brain and going through the internet and trying to find like the most hard-hitting real estate news article you've ever found in your life. But the interesting thing is that people don't always want to read that on a regular basis. And at City Blast, we really, really believe in changing up what you're posting. So we like to post things that are obviously real estate news, but also real estate related, and giving people things that are inspirational, beautiful, things that they're going to want to look at. And again, as you'll see through here, there's a lot to do with home decor and architecture. The #1 clicked on post was a wooden deck that transforms into a swimming pool. So something very cool, something very modern, something that's also just kind of funny, and that was from arrows.com. These are obviously, as you can see, all of the links are there. These are websites that are our top websites that we go to source the content that we share, and you can do the same thing. Posts about Habitat for Humanity, and of course these can be local as well, do really well for us. And then anything to do with like apps that help with organizing and cleaning, people love that stuff. You'll see #2, 10 free apps that will change how you decorate. #3, 10 apps for home organization. I mean, I think I have all 10 apps on my home because my home is not very organized. So this is just an example of the type of stuff you can be posting. And I would just say that if you're planning out your schedule for the week, to not make every post so serious. Like, if you're going to post about mortgage rates, that's great because people want to know what's going on with mortgage rates. But the next day, maybe change it up with something that's a little bit more fun, like 11 tiny houses that will make you want to live a simpler life. Stuff like that, so you can change it up a little bit. This is going back to one of the first slides that I showed you and why I was talking about Facebook and why I was going to emphasize it so much. Here's a breakdown of how it really works on social media. And so it was analyzed by nearly 8 million real estate social media posts, and 87% came from Facebook. Twitter 10%, and 3% was from LinkedIn. So I know I have a lot of clients who really love using LinkedIn, and that is awesome. I will tell you, as someone who is not an agent, who is someone who you would be targeting as a client, I log into my LinkedIn account about once a year. So you can definitely apply social media marketing to LinkedIn, but the reality is, just as we saw with the stat that people spend 3 times more time on Facebook than any other website in the world, 87% of clicks out of 8 million posts came from Facebook. So that is for sure where people are spending their time and where they're clicking on posts.
Yeah, I think that alone just shows you where you should be, where you should focus your time.
Exactly. I mean, I hear from people all the time that they don't want to spend time on Facebook, that they hate seeing what people are doing, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you know, I say to them, I totally understand that. It can be annoying, but at the same time, you just have to look at it as a marketing tool at this point. I actually really like to tell people that you need to think of it as your modern day mailing list. So just as you would be out there and you'd be making connections and you would be exchanging business cards, and at the end of the day, you would go back to your office and you would be entering the information into your mailing list, you should go home and you should add those people on Facebook, because that is going to be the best way for you to grow your network slowly but surely with people that you've actually made connections with in real life. I mean, they don't have to be your best friends. You also have to realize this. If you would add them to your mailing list because you've met them one time, you can send them a Facebook request and they can choose to add you or not, but pretty common these days to be like, oh yeah, I met them once, we can be friends, no problem.
Yeah.
Here's some, if you're looking for ideas for, sorry, going back once, if you're looking for more ideas for what kind of stuff you should be posting on Facebook and your social media, here is another graph that will show you what kind of stuff is doing well. So you can see, actually, you know, tips for clients in the real estate news. It does perform. People click on it, but you can see that inspirational quotes and even Habitat for Humanity, those kinds of things do really well. And the reason, I wouldn't say only post about Habitat for Humanity. I mean, you probably don't work for Habitat for Humanity, but why you want to sprinkle those things in is because the more people who click on your posts will just help your edge rank on Facebook. It will make any post that you update on Facebook show in more feeds more often, because Facebook will think people are really tuned in and interested in what you're saying no matter what topic it is. So that's why we create a bit of variety in what we provide for our clients, and it's definitely effective. So does inbound marketing work for realtors? This is another quote from Wikipedia, and it's especially effective for small businesses with high dollar values, long research cycles, and knowledge-based products. I'm sure everyone involved today can agree that that basically describes the real estate industry to a T in what you do. High dollar values, I mean, you're dealing with probably the biggest purchase that your clients are making in their entire life. And long research cycles, I mean, it's not always a long research cycle, but in a lot of cases it is. And knowledge-based products, I mean, really what you're selling and what you're offering is your knowledge to help people buy and sell their home. It isn't perfect, and one criticism of inbound marketing is the time and effort required to create content. I'm sure a lot of you have blogs or have attempted blogging, and you know how long it takes. Blogging takes forever, and to be honest, you're probably not a journalist and you're not a professional writer. At CityBots, we actually take the approach that you shouldn't write your own content at all, and instead you should be sharing content from the experts who have created it. So just go out there and find a great article that's really interesting that a real estate journalist has actually written and share that information. Tell people why you think it's a great article, point out some of the key facts that are in the article, and then share it to your Facebook. You don't have to be the person that wrote that article. I mean, the reality is if someone Googles a real estate topic and your website happens to come up, that's great. But if the New York Times also comes up, they're probably going to click the New York Times because they're going to feel that it's a more trusted source. And so CityBoss solves this problem for the real estate industry. As I was saying, what we do is we help you save time. We help you stay on top of your social media marketing very, very consistently. We connect to your Facebook, your business page on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and then we update your status as though it's you. So you let us know what you want to post, how often you want to post, where you're located so we can get you local content, and then our team of real estate experts literally sit in our head office all day and source all of the best content that's national, international, as well as local for all of our clients. And they're trained on what works and what doesn't work, and after posting millions and millions of posts every day through Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, we really know what we're doing, and so we do it for you. I'm going to go to Sean's Facebook and to City Blast just to show you some examples of how it looks on Facebook, but I wanted to let you all know that we have teamed up with Bob to offer you a 50% lifetime discount. Normally it's just under $100, $99 a month, so it goes down to $49 with the 50% off. And we also have a 2-week free trial, so if you just want to try it out and see how it works for you, there's absolutely no commitment, and you can get started on a trial as early as today. So bear with me just for 1 minute. This is Sean's Facebook, and he's now based in New York, so you're going to see a lot of New York content, but obviously it would be tailored to you depending on where you're located. So let's see what this post is. It's safe to say we're in the midst of a global real estate bull market with the Big Apple leading the change, and New York is the hottest real estate market in the world. Likes and comments. Let's see if you click on this article, because I'm interested in the New York market. It actually takes me to an article that is on the Business Insider, which is obviously a top website that I read regularly, and it's something that I trust. It doesn't look like a weird blog post that I don't really trust. I don't know if it's a real article or not. This is something where I can trust what's being shared in this article. You can also see what's really cool, that's quite a new feature for City Blast, is the branded bar. So even though I've clicked off of Sean's wall and I've gone to the Business Insider, there's still this marketing banner where it shows his name, his photo, his brokerage is listed, and if I have questions about the article saying, hey, I want to know more, I'm looking to buy in New York, I can just type it in and get in touch for information. You can see moving down, this one's a little bit fun. While we don't have hoverboards, there are a few kitchen devices that aren't too far off from the future predicted in the movie. Obviously, this is talking about Back to the Future. And you have to remember that people obviously are spending a lot of time on Facebook during the day because they're escaping day-to-day life. So they're looking for fun articles, some to obviously educate themselves on what's going on, but some are just, they want to watch a funny video. I'm sure we've all done it before. I certainly have many times. So this is the type of thing that's just going to get you possibly a lot of likes and comments, which again is great because it will have people constantly seeing your updates in their feed. So what's hot in 2015, that's a great one. Again, also New York focused, that's where he is. He was previously set to Toronto, which is why he has some Toronto content here as well, but that wouldn't normally be the case unless you switched your city, of course.
So what I'm seeing, is that the content is very generic, right? It's just something that anybody looking in that particular area might find interesting, right? And it's switched up all the time. But it looks like to me, I mean, that Sean's doing all of this. This is all just about Sean. He's taking the time and effort to post this very valuable information.
Correct. So you can see it looks like, you know, Sean's name, Sean's picture, that he's taking the time to do it. You know, he could be off on vacation or more so just stuck in business meetings all the time. But I am obviously quite connected with a lot of our clients on Facebook, and I've had clients I've known that they were in, say, Mexico for a week, and I would see on their City Blast posts that we've done, their friends going, oh my gosh, you're a workaholic, don't you ever take a break? I know you're on vacation, stop working, get away from the computer. And in the background they're like, ha ha ha, I'm like on a beach drinking a beer.
Yeah.
So it's great. I mean, it's essentially allowing you to have a social media assistant for like less than $2 a day, and it looks like you're doing it, but really it's us. I'm going to show you something. You may notice here that it says CB1 under here, and I'm going to show you what that does on this end because I think it's one of our coolest features. This is the City Blast website, cityblast.com. I'm just going to go into my own account to show you what that does. And so this is the dashboard. And so this is where you can track how many people are clicking, liking, and commenting and sharing your posts. My numbers are a bit low because I actually have it off on my personal account right now, but obviously this would be much higher if it was consistently running, and I only do that because I'm not actually an agent. So I'm not sure if anyone here uses Google Analytics, but you should because it's awesome. So I like to describe our dashboard as the Google Analytics of City Blast. So often you can be, you might have City Blast running and you're thinking, okay, I'm getting X amount of likes, some comments, it's pretty good, but I don't know if anyone's actually paying attention. Like, what do these likes mean? So what's great is that you can come back into your dashboard whenever you want and have a look, and you will see how many clicks are actually going through. And a click is actually when someone's clicked on the article and gone and read it. On average, it's about 30 clicks for every one like. So you can imagine this number is actually quite high. And obviously more than likes, what you want are clicks, because that means people are actually reading what you're sharing and they're storing that information in the back of their minds, whether it's about mortgage rates or what's going on in the city real estate wise, or just a funny real estate article or some beautiful home decor article. They're storing that information, and obviously they know it came from you, you shared it, and it's happening on a consistent basis, so you're staying top of mind. For example, if after a month or so someone gets a promotion and they have to move and they're like, oh my God, I have to sell this house this week. What am I going to do? Who should I get in touch with? I haven't bought a house in like 15 years. I don't even know if my real estate agent is still working. And then they're going to say, oh my God, well, Bob is always posting really great content and I love what he shares. He's so on top of it. He always has great listings and great articles. I'm just going to send him a message on Facebook to see if he can help me and see what he says. And it's also it's a lot less intimidating to send a message or a comment on Facebook than it is to pick up a phone and call someone or email them even. Again, because people are so used to starting that process on their own. And there's just something about Facebook that seems a lot friendlier, a lot more approachable. It's not as serious, so I find it's a great way for people to connect with agents and just ask a question without feeling like they're committing to anything straight off the bat. The other thing to mention is that if you don't care about your City Blast analytics, that's totally fine. You can select something in your settings that will remove the CB1, and it would show, for example, the NewYorkTimes.com here, just like any other Facebook post posting of an article. And so you would lose your analytics, but it would look even more so like you posted it yourself. So it's really up to you, but this is a new feature for us. It used to say City Blast, and now it looks even less like we're helping you, which is really great. So going into the settings, I just want to show you the options you have for your categories. A lot of the ones that I brought up before in your City Blast account, you would be able to just click them off here. You can have everything selected, or you can have a minimum of 5 topics selected. You let us know. I'm in Toronto, but wherever you are in the US or Canada, you just let us know how often you want to post. You can do auto-liking, which will help your engagement. It really does work, even though sometimes it looks a little weird if you're liking your own post, but we have it as an option for a reason. Click tracking is what I mentioned for the analytics, and branded content is that bar that we showed above with Sean's picture and name, which would of course be your own picture and name. And under here we have all of the social media tabs that you can have connected. A lot of you are probably wondering if you can connect to your business page, and of course you can. You can connect with your personal Facebook fan page, Twitter, and LinkedIn, or any combination of those accounts. The other thing to mention too is that if you have listings and want to maximize the social media marketing for that listing, you can actually submit it to City Blast, and we will help you with that. So what happens is you click on create a listing and you fill out the form, and then the listing you submit to us will publish to your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. But not only do we publish it to you, we will publish it to the other agents who use City Blast in the same city. So you get to fish for buyers in their personal networks, which is very cool. And if you are doing a listing presentation anytime soon, I think for a lot of people, when they're asked, okay, well, what's your social media marketing strategy, which if you have any younger clients is for sure going to be a question they're going to have, you might be a little bit like, oh, I'll post it on Facebook, I have 50 friends, and that's not going to be good enough because probably there's a pretty slim chance one of those 50 people is going to buy their house. So if you can say, well, I can reach thousands of people this week by using my social media marketing tool, that's obviously going to be a lot more impressive. You can see I listed this, I think, a few years ago, and it was seen by 114,000 people and clicked by almost 1,200 people, which is very impressive. Our numbers, obviously, Toronto is a very big real estate market, and the amount of clicks our listings get through the blasting tool are actually higher than on MLS.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that feature. That's another amazing feature.
Exactly, and actually what's even more awesome is the reverse can happen. If you don't have any listings, which happens, especially in the winter, it's a little bit quiet, you can click on one of these settings. I'll just show it to you in here. It's called Local Listing Showcase. And when you select that, it basically just tells us that, yes, I want to publish listings and articles because listings, people love listings. I mean, if you've ever seen HGTV, every show is about listings and homes, so people are obviously obsessed with looking at listings. We will share listings to your wall and to your social media accounts that aren't yours, but they will look like they're yours. We also showcase our listings in a very different way than most agents do. We never have a price listed. We don't advertise it like an ad. Instead, it will say like beautiful lake view, wraparound porch, whatever it is. We kind of frame it more as a story, and there will obviously be a huge, beautiful image, so it's very enticing, and then it really prompts people to click and look through. I'm telling you, by doing that, you will find people who didn't even know they were looking for a property, and I know that because that happened to me. Last year, I was at work, and I was, I was at the point where I really wanted to buy my first house, but I wasn't totally there yet. Toronto is an incredibly expensive real estate market, so I wasn't even sure if I would ever be able to afford something in the city. And I was kind of looking around, but really I was just trying to get my down payment together. And the area that I really, really wanted to live in, I didn't think I would ever be able to afford anything because they're all like $1-million homes. And I was at work one day and I just had my Facebook open, as I always do, and I saw a listing that was blasted through City Blast that showed up in my feed that was for this home that was in my price range in the exact neighborhood that I was looking into. And I just picked up the phone and called the agent and just said, please, can I see the listing that's on Facebook right now, because that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I am now a proud homeowner. So
that's a great story. Yeah, I love that.
It's a real story. I'm a firm believer in the power of the blasting tool.
That's good. So basically what you're doing is everybody's sharing their information. It's very similar to the MLS. You know, people are going to benefit from your post, but you're going to benefit from other people's posts as well.
Exactly. I mean, we're not really doing anything different. I'm sure a lot of people listening in often work with other agents to help promote their listings or share and market their listings. And instead of having to call and email and say, hey, is it okay if I share your listing to my network, by clicking off the button in your categories, you're saying, okay, yes, I want to share listings, and anyone who has submitted a listing is obviously saying, yes, I want other agents to help share this listing. So it's all taken care of. If you want to review, our terms and conditions are on the website, so you can see if it's going to work for you and in your market, but a lot of our agents have great success with the blasting tool and sharing listings. I think even just on average, obviously this can be higher or lower, but agents who use City Blast do an extra deal every quarter just by having City Blast running on their Facebook.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's difficult in any way, shape, or form. Well, I know it's not because I have quite a few clients that use it and really believe in it. So, um,
It's very much set it and forget it, which is awesome. I mean, the setup takes about 5 minutes, and the only time you really have to go into your account is to submit the listing information, because you have to, of course, submit that yourself and upload the photos to us. But the other great thing is we're not lying when we say we're real social experts. As you can see on our website, we have a phone number here. We actually have to update this part because we've extended our hours. We're now 9 to 8 p.m. EST, Monday to Friday. So you can call us. You can literally go on our website right now and put your information here and start chatting with a real human that's in the team, just in another room from me. And, you know, whether it's about City Boss or you just want us to have a look at your social media and give you some feedback or help you out with whatever you need, get set up on your trial, you can talk to an actual human, which I think also is one of the best features for our service. To pay $50 a month and be able to call us anytime you want is pretty awesome, I would say.
yeah, I'd say that's what it's all about. That's what I teach. Add value to your clients, and obviously you're doing it, adding value.
Were there any questions that have come in so far?
Why, would you go back to the page where to give them an idea of how if they want to get the free trial and so forth, how they get that? I know you had that slide up before. If you could bring that back up again.
So hope everyone can see this.
So there you go, everybody. You can get, and how long is the free trial?
The free trial is 14 days long.
So 2 weeks.
There's no commitment. You can cancel anytime.
Yep. Okay. And the cost is what again? It's $50 a month?
Yep, normally $99. With the 50% lifetime discount, it goes down to $50 a month.
Okay, so it never goes up. Once they sign up, it never goes up.
Correct. So even if our pricing monthly did go up to $150 or $200 as an example, once you lock into this discount, we will always honor the price that is on your account.
Okay. Well, let's go to some questions. I know people have some questions, and I'm going to bring up, first off, I would suggest everybody, you know, I had this phone call today, and actually I believe she's on today, Mary. We were talking. It was such a great conversation with Mary this morning, and we were talking a little bit about, you know, when you look at something, I would say one of the things I've found wrong with the industry, the real estate industry, is we look at it with some kind of negative viewpoint rather than a positive. So I would encourage all of you to look at this as a positive, you know, from a positive viewpoint. You know, will this work in your business? One, you should ask, can you afford it? I don't know how you couldn't. I don't see how you couldn't do a deal a quarter like you said. And in that case, with average commission of $5,000, and this is costing $50, it's $150 a quarter. You're doing pretty darn well then. You know, that's a good ROI. But again, that just depends in your current marketing budget. I think a couple things that I learned real quick before we get into the questions. I wrote this one down, and Grace, it was just perfect. It said, social media, treat social media as if it's a social event. And you said, act as if you were at a party, as if you would want everyone to like you. Please remember that. That's one of the things I'm going to take away from this with our social media and so forth. You know, don't go there as if you're trying to get something from somebody. You want everybody to kind of like you. You want to give them good value. You want to show them value, and in turn, they'll like you rather than, I think, Grace, you used the analogy of giving out your business card to everybody. You know,
yeah.
And I could see that in a Saturday night skit, can't you? You know, how people view real estate agents as sleazy. Hey, here's my business card. Here's my business card. Here's my business card, right? So
I'm pretty sure I've been in contact with people like that in real life. But, you know, that's really not the case. And especially, I have to say that before I worked in this business, I really had zero knowledge of real estate, and I didn't know any real estate agents, and I've made so many amazing connections with our clients, and I've come to love so many of them, and I love attending conferences to meet everyone, and it's not true. Not everyone is like that, and I just think you need to let your personality shine through, because people are obviously shopping for your knowledge. But what's so great about marketing yourself on Facebook is that they get a personal connection. They get an idea if you're a family man, or if you're really funny, or if you love fashion, and you know there's some part of you that they just really relate to on a day-to-day basis, and then they because of that, they click on more of your links, they comment on more of your posts. I mean, I have tons of clients, like I love my real estate agent, but there's also clients who I think are really awesome, and I'm like, I hope I can buy another house soon. Maybe I'll use them, but I'm very loyal as well. But, you know, I feel like I know them, even though I've only met them in real life once probably, but through Facebook I've been able to get a sense of who they are. And people at the end of the day, they just want someone they think they can trust and who's going to take care of them. So that's really what you're just trying to present, and I'm sure for so many of you who are in tune with us today that that is what you do and what you provide to your clients. You just want to show people that who you really are, and what you're going to be providing to them through social media. So don't overthink it. I just think you need to.
Well, I think everybody that's on this call today, those are the kind of people that you want that really kind of get it. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't take the time out of their busy day. So,
exactly.
Grace, let me get to a couple of questions. One of the questions Robin just asked, if you sign up and find it does not fit, you can cancel at any time.
Correct.
Yep,
so
that's correct,
you have 2 weeks. If you want to know the exact date of when that's going to end, just let us know. We will tell you. And hey, if you in the trial have questions, you can call us or email us at any time, and we'll help review it for you. And you know what? It's not for everyone. So if it doesn't work for you, it's not a big deal. It is very effective for a lot of people, but you're not signing your life away by signing up for a trial. That's for sure.
Yeah. Here's a question I'm not quite sure how to answer, and I'm looking forward to hearing your response. Linda asked, do you recommend that we friend as many agents as possible? And not sure I want other agents to have access to my personal life, so how do I limit this?
I mean, it's up to you. I don't think there's anything wrong with being connected with your peers.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm glad you said
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. In my personal opinion, I would say I wouldn't put too much effort into it. I would put more effort into connecting with clients, new clients, and past clients, or potential clients, because obviously that's where you're going to have more of a chance of having a client who's going to be buying and selling and contacting you.
And then Linda asked another good question. And believe me, I'm going to get to everybody's questions, so thank you. She said, when other agents' listings show on my Facebook page, does their info show or mine?
So your information would show. That's actually a really, really great question. So because they are using your social media network to help market their listing, of course, when it appears on your Facebook wall or your Twitter feed, it's going to come from your name and from your picture. So if I'm your Facebook friend, I'm going to be like, oh wow, my God, she has so many listings covering so many areas of the city. God, she's really killing it this year. That is awesome. Clicking through, and when I click on the listing, it will take me to the listing page that will show, again, your name and contact information in the top right corner. We are compliant, so at the bottom of the listing page, you would see the brokerage information and address listed there. But if they click on get in touch for information, and they'll be provided your phone number and your email.
Okay. Okay. There's a couple more questions. Alyssa said, "I apologize. I missed the pricing and trial info." The pricing is, if you can pull that back up, is $50 a month, Alyssa. There is no commitment. Somebody else asked. Let me see who else asked that. After the free trial is over, how long is the commitment? It's month to month, isn't it?
Correct. So you can have a look in our pricing section. We have monthly $99. So with the promo code, these will all go down to 50%. Month to month is paying month to month, no contract, like a pay-as-you-go. You can pay biannually. This is paying in a lump sum. It obviously works out to be less, and then so you pay up front and it covers you for 6 months. You can do the same for a year. All of those prices will be slashed in half with the Bob Zink promo code, which is here, and you just enter that in when you're signing up. You can also use the chat to have someone help you while you're signing up, or give us a call. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend any of these, but if you are looking for something that you don't want to commit to right away, or you're not sure yet, just start with the monthly. There's nothing wrong with it. and that's $99 a month going down to $50 with the 50% promo code. And when you're on our website, you just want to click Try Us Now to get started with your trial.
So everybody can see all those numbers that you just showed. It's half of that with the Bob Singh promo code. Okay, a few more questions if you don't mind, Grace, because we have some really good ones.
No problem.
By the way, thank you, everybody, for bringing up so many great questions. I really appreciate it. So this is great. A good friend of mine, Mike, said, do your posts have to show City Blast? Do they have to show?
No, they don't. They don't. So right now, Sean has the Google Analytics feature turned on so that he knows how many people are clicking. But as I briefly went over before, once you have your account and you can go into your settings, it's just a quick on and off button. So let me just show you. It's called click tracking in your features, and basically all you would do is scroll here and then see, yes, I want to track clicks. You would just say no, and then that will go away. The unfortunate thing is that when you deselect click tracking, you also deselect the branded content. So it's up to you. But I have to say that sometimes I think because you know what City Blast is, I think people get a little too caught up in how it shows. But you have to think that other people just consider it, they just assume that you're using like an industry tool, like you're using Hootsuite, but for real estate, which is very similar to what this is. So don't get too caught up in it, but
I think we get caught up because, and Mike even said that too in his comment. I won't read his whole thing, but you know, because he's in the business, he's more familiar with it. You know, I don't think people really pay attention to that, Mike. They you know, they just see, well, these are great posts and so forth. Because I have to admit, I don't pay attention to it, and I am in the industry as well, so I don't pay attention to it when I'm on Facebook.
The reality is, as a real estate agent, you probably have a lot of other real estate agents in your network. So you see City Blast in your feed because other agents use it. But for anyone who's not a real estate agent, they probably have a maximum of like 1 to 2 agents in their Facebook network, so they're not seeing it as often as you are, and those are the people that you care about anyway. I mean, who cares if the other agents you know see it all the time? Too bad for them. You're not targeting them. You're targeting other people, and those are the people who are probably only seeing those posts from you that have any kind of like City Blast reference. So that's what I remind our clients.
That brought up another question that I see from Joanne, and I've got to just caution again. I think Joanne, good question, and says, if there are 2 or more agents in my market using you, will you post the same things on all of our sites? And I'll let you answer that, Grace. Before, let me just give my comment. Joanne, my comment would be, who cares? Because the likelihood that the people that are on your page are looking at theirs is thin to none. I mean, it's almost non-existent. But, Grace, I'll let you answer that question. Would you post the same content on each site? It's going to depend on if their controls are set up the same, right?
Yeah, the answer is that we don't. Everyone posts different posts, and you're going to be posting at different times of the day and on different days. The reality is, especially if you're in a smaller market, that there may not be an abundance of like great real estate related articles that are specific to your market, and of course we try and get as many as we can, but sometimes, I'm sure everyone has been in this position, there's only like one popular article, so whether we're posting it for you or you're posting it yourself, I mean, in my own Facebook feed, if Beyonce does anything, like 20 of my friends post the same article. So it's the same with like a great real estate article for the city. So often you wouldn't be posting all at the same time, and you wouldn't be posting the same article all at the same time, but there is a chance that over the course of a week or two you might post the same article but different days, different times, but that is honestly the same as if you had done it yourself. And also, Bob, what I mentioned is very important to remember too. It's like you're not going to have an identical network. The chances of someone having both of you as a friend is pretty slim. And then, I mean, so the answer is
I don't think it's just something to even worry about, honestly. I think the likelihood is so thin, it's 1 in billions probably. You know, that was another question somebody asked, you know, how individual is it? You know, you post the same content to many agents in the same areas. I don't think it's even possible. Remember, if you see a really good article, you want to share it with your friends. Facebook are your friends, people that you're communicating with and so forth. You're at a party. So you might have somebody at the same party, but the likelihood of them saying the same exact thing and doing it the same exact way is thin to none. And even if they do, it's not like you say, well, boy, I don't like that you both are doing this, giving me the same messaging. So again, I think some of you are overthinking that a little bit. This is to create activity, to create awareness, and for you to be social with people. Look at it that way. And by the way, what do you care if you have 5, 10, 20, I think there's 25 or 35,000 agents in Toronto. I'd rather compete against a few hundred than 25,000.
Again, like I said, we have real people who sit in the office all day and just source all of the best content. So whether you're sitting there and doing it yourself or outsourcing it to us, I mean, there's only so many really great articles that come out, and we only pick the best. And of course, we pick ones that aren't competing against you. We're not going to post an article to your wall that, you know, advertises another agent and their phone number in the article, and we're very aware of that. So we're very, very particular, and we only share the best. So everyone posts something different, and everything is tailored. But of course, if it's an amazing article, then there is a chance that at some point maybe you would share the same one, but it's the same as if you were doing it yourself.
Yeah, I got you. Here's a good question. How often do you post? And I think you showed that before. I know that you can change that, right? Can you show Matt
exactly.
that?
So you'll see on my screen right now, I'm at the post frequency setting, and we always recommend 4, and that's because we feel that allows you some wiggle room in your week to share some personal stuff, like if you have your Instagram connected to your Facebook, or if you just want to share photos. All of that stuff is a lot more fun than sitting down and figuring out what article is good and what article isn't good to share. So you can post pictures of, you know, a beautiful home that you're showing, or a great restaurant that you're trying, and creating, you know, very, very personalized posts that are tailored to your life, that show, you know, what you're up to, what your interests are, some of the cool places in your city that you're out and about, that you know what's going on. However, you can bump this frequency up to 7 days a week, or a minimum of once a week, and that doesn't affect your pricing whatsoever.
Okay, great, great. So there you go, Matt. That should answer your question there. And great question, too. By the way, these have been really good questions so far. So here's another one. Alyssa asked for a copy of the show. Alyssa, I would recommend that you just contact City Blast. You can see Grace is really nice and very friendly. Anything that you want to review, I think they're going to do a much better job talking you through it and so forth. But if you absolutely have to have this webinar, if you shoot me an email at bob@bobsaintcoaching.com, I'll make sure you get a copy of it. Barry was asking something. Barry, I think your question is one better to ask City Blast directly, not here on the webinar. Here, Alyssa asked, do you have a statistic that shows activity before and after using your company? I know you have a lot of testimonials. I even see a testimonial tab on your page. Could you go to that page if you wouldn't mind?
I think actually if you go on the home page, I think there's a number of them down here. So here's what they have to say. You can read a bunch of them down here. So I'll leave that there. But I mean, everyone's network is individual, and the response rate is going to change as well. I've had people who've been with us for a day and are like, oh my God, I've already had people messaging me who are like, I haven't seen you in 20 years. I didn't even know you were an agent. These articles are awesome. I want to sell my house. Otherwise, sometimes it takes longer, just because you never know what stage people are in, but you're trying to stay top of mind. Again, you can keep track of things with your City Blast Analytics. That's why I think it's such a great tool, because you can have a look and just see, you know, how many people are clicking and what's happening. But it's not, social media isn't something that you can try for a week and expect to sell 7 houses in 1 week. You know, you have to be in it for the long run. It's like not having a website at this point. You know, if it was 10 years ago and you're like, I don't know if I need a website. If you didn't have a website for your real estate business right now, you would look like you were out to lunch. And it's the same for Facebook marketing. If you don't have a social media presence, it looks like you don't exist. I mean, people are going to be getting updates from you every day. I mean, there are people on Facebook where I'm like, wow, I haven't heard from them in years. What are they up to? But there are people who I hear from every day just through my news feed, and I know they're busy. I know what they're doing. I feel connected to them, and they're going to be the people that I think of first rather than the person who never updates and I totally forgot about. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just how we keep tabs on people nowadays. It's kind of sad, but it's reality.
Grace, as far as for the Canadian market, I know you're a Canadian-based company. Are you offering a lot of Canadian content too? Wendy asked a good question about that. Or are you offering content that's specific to Canada and to those markets?
100%. I mean, we are based in Toronto. We're a Canadian company. We serve American content to our American clients and Canadian content to our Canadian clients. Okay. And we know the difference.
Okay, good. This is a question. I'm not sure that you can answer this, but I think it's a rhetorical question maybe from Diana, and a good one. But if you're a buyer's agent and are looking to attract international buyers, investors, I would think this would be great because you're actually offering content. You're starting that engagement process, right?
Yes. Right now, I mean, we do have a category that is for news around the web, which does have some real estate content that goes beyond Canada and the U.S., but we at this point really do just focus on Canada and the U.S. But the great thing is that a lot of those people will be searching for people online, and I'm not sure when if you Google Sean.
I think, wait 1 second, Grace. I think you're misunderstanding the question, or maybe I am. I think Diana is asking, will this help her to attract international buyers? Well, international buyers are going to the biggest site, which is Facebook, and then they're seeing that you're putting out content. I would think they would be reading your content and everything else and saying, wow, Diana, you're doing an amazing job, because they want to come to a particular area. So I think she's talking about attracting people to her market that are international.
Yes, which is what I was trying to get to. I mean, for the content we're sharing, it's not always about international, but this can help you in that when you're posting to social media, it actually does really help with your SEO, and people may be searching within Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, and so if you're someone who's very, very active and you come up at the top and they find you that way, I mean, this is certainly going to help you with that.
Okay. Great. Well, can you go to the page one more time for everybody so they can see that where they can go get it? You just go to cityblast.com. You just put in my name. Just don't spell my first name backwards. So Bob Sank, give it a shot. It's 2 weeks. Give it a try. Their phone number's up there. They're not hiding or whatever. Fantastic company. I've never brought anything to anybody in all of my coaching years that I don't truly believe in. So, I hope you all see the benefit of this, the value that this could bring to you and your business, and then also what a great rate, what a great price structure right now. It's very inexpensive. So, and you can reach Grace at cityblast.com. How about that? Was quick, Grace. Nice job.
Yeah, I think if there's anything you take away from today, I mean, whether we help you or you do it yourself, just, don't not do anything. Don't be afraid of Facebook. There is a powerful tool that you have access to that could really, really transform your business this year, and it's not as scary as you think. We're here to help you, and if you just have questions, no problem. If you want to email me, it's grace@cityblast.com. You can call us. Any question you have, please just get in touch with us. We're so happy to help you and figure out how you can start marketing through social media for your real estate business.
Well, thank you, Grace. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everybody sticking on this. I mean, almost everybody stuck on for the whole entire thing. Joanne, you're very welcome. Thank you for all the great questions. This is one of the best webinars I've had for great questions, so I appreciate everybody. Grace, thank you. Everybody else on the call, thank you so much. Hope you all have a fantastic day, a great week, and as always, good climbing. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Grace.
Thanks, Bob.